Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Hub back in the video today. And today, the Houston Rockets beat the San Antonio Spurs on the road, 103 to 101. And this Houston Rockets young team is really finally learning how to win on the road. And look, I've been saying it over the last couple games. If you look now, the Rockets are getting closer and closer to potentially kind of getting a little bit closer to that 10 seed. And I think maybe in a couple games, if the Rockets can keep the good basketball up, maybe the Rockets will find themselves in a really close position to get themselves back into play-in conversation. Right now, after this win, the Rockets are 4.5 games back from the 10 seed. Now, that seems like a lot, but if you look over the Rockets' next stretch of games, we'll just go over the next 5 stretch of games for the Golden State Warriors, who are the 10 seed currently, and the Houston Rockets, who are at the 11 seed and 4.5 games back. Let's go over the Warriors first. The Warriors' next 5 games are against the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Knicks, the Memphis Grizzlies. I would say that's probably an easy win for the Golden State Warriors, but that young Memphis Grizzlies team has beat them once before. I doubt that happens again. We'll see. And then the final game, the Indiana Pacers. So those are 4 to 5 of those games are hard matchups. Then for the Rockets, here are their next 5 matchups. The Washington Wizards, the Cleveland Cavaliers, that will be one hard matchup. The Washington Wizards again. So you have the Wizards twice in this 5-game stretch. The Chicago Bulls, they're playing better, yes, but the Rockets are at home in that game, and the Rockets have played really well at home that game. The Rockets have played really well at home this season. I'm not saying that's an easy win, but that is a chance for a win. And then the final game of that stretch is the Utah Jazz. And if you want to extend to a 6th game, the 6th game of that stretch is against the Portland Trailblazers, again, at home for the Houston Rockets. So you have, in that stretch, you have 4 home games, or it might be 5, I'm not sure. It's 4 or 5 home games. And there's only one road game in that 6-game stretch, and the one road game is against the Washington Wizards. And the Rockets have won 4 road games in a row. And then if you add the 6th game in that stretch, we play the Blazers as well, who we just beat by 16. So what I'm saying is the Warriors, their next 5 games, it's a little bit of a hard stretch. You face the Lakers and the Mavericks. 2 teams have had their way against the Warriors this season. You face the Knicks, who, if I'm not mistaken, did the Warriors just beat them? I think they did. But Knicks are playing good basketball this season. They just beat the 76ers 106-79 today. You have the Pacers, who are a high-scoring offense, so that might be a hard matchup. The Grizzlies will probably be an easy win, but I think those are 4 potential losses out of 5 games. I'm not saying the Warriors are going to lose all 4 of those 5 games, but I think Dallas is going to beat them tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me if the Lakers beat Golden State as well. And I would think that the Warriors are going to lose one of those 2 games against New York or Indiana. I think the Warriors, out of their next 5 games, are going to probably win 2 or 3. I would think the Warriors are going to go 2-3 over their next 5 games. And if the Rockets over their next 6 games, I think the Rockets can go 4-2 at the best, possibly, or maybe at the best. I think at the best it's 5-1. But I don't think that. I think you're most likely will go 4-2 or maybe 3-3. But I think 4-2 is probably reasonable with those teams that you're playing in that 6-game stretch. But the point is that there is momentum with the way the Rockets have been playing recently. They have beat in this stretch, their most recent wins. They have beat teams that they're not supposed to beat, and that is one thing that I think has put them back in the conversation to make that plain. Look, with how bad the Rockets have been on the road this season, I don't think we expected them to get road wins against the Kings or the Suns. So wins like that have got them back in position, in my opinion. But let's talk about this game tonight. This was the first game. This is a great win, by the way, because this was the first game without Alperen Sengun, and this is a huge adjustment. This is a guy who has only missed 2 games up until this point. So, he is our best player, and I know we've been winning on the road recently. We won 3 previous, before this game. But this team struggles to win on the road, and they're without their best player. So this is an impressive win. And you're playing someone like Victor Wembanyama, who is 7'4", and the Rockets did a good job against him tonight. He had only 13 points. Last time the Rockets played him, he had 10 and didn't score at all in the second half. So again, Rockets do a good job against him. I want to talk about this. Held him to 2 blocks as well. And he did have 10 rebounds with 6 assists, though. 4 assists away from triple-double. But he shot 5 for 12, 2 for 7. Rockets played really well against Victor Wembanyama when they meet against him. And I think they're one of the only teams in the NBA defensively that have been able to consistently stop him. I mean, he has to put up the lowest averages against any team in the NBA. Compare the Rockets to any other team in the NBA that has played him. He's played the Rockets 4 times. So, the Rockets win 103-101. They got off to a rough start in the first quarter, and I honestly thought this was going to be a game for the Rockets where you're supposed to win this one. You're the better team, and you don't because it's your first game without your best player. But that was not the case. Started off 18-8 in this game. Rockets called a timeout. Spurs went on a big run, and then after that, the Rockets got things closer in the first quarter. Only down 6 going into the second. We're only down by 3 going into halftime. It was a low-scoring first half, and then outscored San Antonio by 6 in the third quarter. We're up 3 going into the fourth quarter. At one point in the fourth quarter, had an 8-point lead, and this was a big game. Jock Landale had a huge game off the bench. He was excellent. He's been playing it's like a switch, and I think it's that haircut, man. I know I've seen Rockets Twitter. I've seen Rockets play-by-play announcer Craig Ackerman say it. That haircut was a curse. That buzz cut was a curse, and now his hair's growing back, and he looks like the player we signed from Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Suns that paid him $8 million a year. Speaking of Jock, he is a former San Antonio Spur. That's where he played the first season of his career. And I'm going to go over Jock Landale to start off the game. I never thought, with how bad we saw Jock Landale play before this stretch of games where he's now found him a spot. It went to the point where fully out of the rotation, we want to trade you. We will do anything to trade you and get you off this roster and, get your contract away from our team, to the point where, all right, well, we're going to play you. We're going to give you some minutes here and there. And then he proves himself. He's getting minutes almost every game. And then it gets to the point where your center gets hurt, and now he's playing 26 minutes. So he has made a total change. He scored 11 points tonight with 5 assists, with 4 rebounds, 2 steals, even made a 3. This is the 3rd straight game he's made a 3. If you guys are aware, Jock Landale, before this, terrible 3-point shooter. So he's made 3 threes over the last 3 games, 1 in each game, and he shot 5 for 8 tonight with a plus-minus of 15. It just, everything switched with Jock. But I also want to get to the leading scorer. That's Fred VanVleet with 21 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds. He played excellent. He had 2 steals. He had 2 blocks, shot 7 for 16, 3 for 9 from 3. Great game for Fred. Also 16 points from Jalen Green. He had the game-sealing free throws, or 2 of the game-sealing free throws. Shout out to Jalen Green and Aaron Holiday, who knocked down some free throws there at the end. 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists for Jalen. Terrible shooting night, 5 for 16 and 2 for 6, but still not a bad night for Jalen. Not terrible shooting night, but not great. Fred had a great night, shot 7 for 16. So, Jalen only missed two more shots than, missed 2 more shots than Fred did. So it wasn't a terrible night because Fred was great, but it just wasn't a great shooting night. 14 points for Dylan Brooks. He 1 assist, 1 rebound, 6 for 11 shooting, 2 for 7 3. He made 2 threes in the fourth, really big shots for the Rockets. And Min Thompson only scored 6 points, but at the same time, he only played 23 minutes and took only 2 shots, so it was 2 for 2. It was 2 for 2 at the free throw line, so he just didn't miss tonight, but wasn't taking a lot of attempts. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, I think in our last game he didn't have a steal or a block, and I was shocked that happened. 15 points for Jabari Smith Jr. and 9 rebounds. He was big in the second half for us. 1 assist, 2 steals. Besides Jock Landale, there wasn't a lot of scoring. Well, there was a little bit. 8 points for both Aaron Holiday and Jeff Green. Jeff Green made some nice shots in the first half. 8 points, 2 for 5 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3, 3 for 4, 1 rebound, 1 steal. Went 3 for 4 at the free throw line. No, he only made 2 field goals, but he had a 3 in the first half. 8 points for Aaron Holiday. He made the 2 ceiling free throws to make it 103 to 100. 1 rebound for him as well tonight. Shot 3 for 6, 0 for 1 from 3. And then Jayshawn Tate is now two guys like Jayshawn Tate and Reggie Bullock Jr. have found themselves in the rotation with Amin Thompson going to the starting lineup and Alperen Sengun getting hurt. So Jayshawn Tate and Reggie Bullock Jr. are now in the rotation again. Well, I don't know if that's going to stay that way, but 13 minutes for Jayshawn Tate, shot 1 for 2, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. Nice defensive night for Jayshawn. And then Reggie Bullock Jr. played 14 minutes, 1 for 3, 0 for 2 from 3, 2 points, 2 steals. So both guys that got added into the rotation that have not been recently were very nice defensively with 2 steals and 2 blocks. Bullock Jr. had Jayshawn Tate had 2 of the 5 blocks tonight, so that was nice. And then Boban Marjanovic and Nate Williams were DNPs. So, yeah, I can't complain. This was a great game. And I said it in my pregame. These games between the Rockets and Spurs, they're always interesting to watch. These two teams, if you watch the game I've been to one of the games between these two teams out of the 4 games this year. These two teams do not disappoint. Well, actually, no, never mind. I have not been to a game between these two teams. Yes, I did. Never mind. I was thinking about the most recent one because I went to the game after that against the Clippers, but I went to a game earlier in December against these Spurs, and it's fun to watch these two teams go at it. The one I went to wasn't the one where Sengun scored 45 points, but it was a physical, hard game. And then the first game between these two teams in San Antonio was an overtime game. The second game I went to was a very hard physical, played good defensive, played by both teams game. And then the third game was, you all know about that with Alperen Sengun scoring 45 points. And then this game tonight was a great game. So these two teams, they put on a show, and I think it's turning into a nice rivalry. Obviously, the Rockets and Spurs have always been a rivalry. That's a fact. But these two young teams are starting to add to that rivalry. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section, and peace out. Go Rockets.